There are so many different tools and fittings that you can use with PEX A. So in this video, I'm going to share a few different options that I personally use and why. No matter what fitting I'm using, I always make a square cut before I make the connection. The first option is an expansion system. This is a poly elbow by SharkBite, and you should always use an expansion sleeve with this. What I like about the sleeve is it's got a stop on it, and if you chamfer the PEX A, it's easier to slide this on. Then I expand that 5 to 6 times for ½ inch PEX A. I'm using a Milwaukee tool for this. This is my favorite tool, more on that later. And then I slide the elbow in up to the stops. This is very fast, but there's a second option. This is the PEX Press system in a poly option. And the nice thing is this will also slide onto the tubing. You can see it through the little viewing window, which is nice. The stainless steel sleeve stays on the fitting, and then I simply press this using a press tool. The nice thing is this is also very fast, and you can use this with both PEX A and PEX B, by the way, which is always a great option in homes. But there's a third option as well, and that is a PEX B crimp ring and elbow system. I like using copper crimp rings if I have to do it. Now, the only thing is, this is a manual crimper, and it can be a little bit clunky and cumbersome inside floor joists and studs, but it will work on PEX A as well as PEX B. The third option you might know, and that is push-to-connect fittings. The first thing I do here is mark the depth using a depth and deburring tool, and then I'm going to use a SharkBite elbow that is a SharkBite Max. Now this is rated up to 400 PSI, which is pretty awesome, and it'll spin around the PEX A tubing. I really do like these in certain circumstances. The reason why I like PEX A is the internal diameter is very similar to that of copper, but it's flexible and easier to use inside studs and joist bays. I'm going to share with you the 4 different types of tools that I use for PEX A. This is the SharkBite deburring tool, and I need this to mark the depth as well as deburr the PEX A. I also use it for PEX B. In addition, I'll use PEX A cutters. These are from SharkBite, and I like them because they make a square cut. And then obviously you have the SharkBite Max fittings. There are so many different types of fittings that you can use, like elbows and tees, and it really is helpful. The second option is a manual crimper. This is actually for PEX B. The only downside to this is that it's got a smaller diameter at the fitting than PEX A, and you have to use these crimp rings, which sometimes come with and without the spacers. I like to use the spacers, but honestly, I rarely use this anymore. Instead, I use a PEX A tool. This one's from Milwaukee that expands the internal diameter of the tubing as well as the expansion ring. You can see how this T is a little bit bigger than the PEX B T, and that is really important if you want to maximize water flow. You can get the poly fittings as well if you don't like the brass, but you do need the expansion sleeves if you're going to use this option. The fourth option is to use a press tool. This is probably the most expensive option, but again, they come in both brass and poly fittings with the windows, and that's nice so that you can see that you completely pressed it. And if you have a mixed use situation, this is compatible with PEX B. Out of all of these tools, my favorite one by far is the expansion tool. And the reason why is it's slim, so I can fit it inside studs as well as joist bays. It's got a slightly bigger fitting, and I really do like how the expansion sleeve slides onto the PEX A. But let me know which one you prefer in the comments, and also if you have any questions.